This is Neil Ratner Rock Doc here on WDST Radio Woodstock with another episode of This Week in Rock with support from Transcendental and my friend, the amazing dentist and rock star Bruce Milner. Visit Transcendental, his stunning new office at 2 Maverick Road on the corner of Maverick Road and Route 375. Lou Reed was born on March 2nd, 1942 in Brooklyn, New York. After leaving the band The Velvet Underground, Lou began his solo career with a highly anticipated self-titled album, which was a critical disappointment and a commercial failure. However, Reed's sophomore effort, Transformer, released in 1972 with David Bowie and Mick Ronson as co-producers, is an influential landmark of the glam rock genre and helped Lou achieve mainstream success. The album is anchored by Lou's most successful single, Walk on the Wild Side, a salute to the misfits and hustlers who once surrounded Andy Warhol in the late 60s. The song, with its jazzy arrangement, courtesy of bassist Herbie Flowers and saxophonist Ronnie Ross, received wide radio airplay and became Lou's signature tune. New York, released in 1989, was Lou's 15th album, and for many, one of his best. Reed's straightforward rock and roll sound was unusual for the time, and as Lou relates, presaged a back-to-basics turn in mainstream rock.
What I really liked about rock and roll when I started out, I was always working in bar bands since I was 14. I was like always the youngest one there, and they'd have to like sneak me in or have phony, what we call phony proof of age and stuff like this. And then right through college, working in bar bands. And what I liked about it at the beginning was anybody could play it. And anybody could play a Lou Reed song. I mean, even if you couldn't play guitar, somebody could sit you down. You ought to be able to play it in about, let's say it was hard, a half hour. You ought to be able to play it. It's a great democratic medium. I really like that about it. But I think there's like more things that can be done with it. I mean, some of my songs only have one chord. I mean, so anybody can really play it. And if you hit the guitar with a hammer, you ought to be able to play it.
Your lyrics also, although what they're saying is very complex, they have a tone that's conversational often, the sound of someone's voice speaking. Isn't that quite hard to get within a song, within a rock and roll song?
Well, I'll tell you, if I could have sung like Otis, this might have been a whole other thing, but for the way I sing, and some people say I don't, that there's a certain number of notes that I have. And the other thing behind it was that I want you very much to feel as though someone's sitting right next to you telling you something, very intimate, very real. You've got to believe that it's real.
New York was one of Reed's most overtly conceptual albums, with his liner notes directing the listener to hear the 57-minute album in one sitting, as though it were a book or a movie. The lyrics vent anger at many public figures in the news at the time, and the musical arrangements are stripped down, with very few overdubs or effects. Nothing is allowed to intrude on Reed's powerful words. The song Dirty Boulevard contrasts the life of Pedro, a downtrodden denizen of a cheap hotel where no one dreams of being a doctor or a lawyer or anything, with movie stars arriving by limo at Lincoln Center. Okay, let's listen. From the album New York, Lou Reed and Dirty Boulevard.